In this lecture, we are going to look at slab creation and editing techniques. For this house that we are modeling here, we need to have a slab, we need to have a ground floor slab in place, so that if you look at your house, so that if you look at it in the 3D window, you're not going to see the bottom part of the house as hollow. So what do we do with that? So what do? We activate the slab tool by going to the design menu. Then under architectural tools, we select object. So now the object tool has been selected and activated. So we go to the design menu. Under architectural tools, we select the slab tool to activate it. Then here under settings dialog for the slab tool, these are the slab default settings. We have the type of structure, which is currently selected here as composite structure. Here is the type of slab that we want to draw for our house. So if you click on this, we'll have these options. Currently we have selected generic slab and roof. I want us to use this option of a concrete floor with 10mm tile. So click on that. Then we are done with the geometry and positioning. Under floor plan and section, these are the cut surfaces. These are the cut surfaces and the uncut surface lines and the pens that are going to be displayed for that in a 2D floor plan. The model, we have options for overriding surfaces. Like here we have a top surface, we have edge surface and bottom surface. So if I click to activate this, I will be able to control what material we have for the top surface for this slab, and the edge surface and the bottom surface also. So let's deactivate this, and then we have other settings under structural analytical parameters. We have structural function of this slab, and here I will choose load bearing element. So that is it for the structural analytical parameters. I close that. Then under classification, we have ArchiCAD classification. This is classified as slab. So we have that, and then with those settings in place, we can now click OK. We have the settings for slab that we have put saved. So when you look at the info box contents for the activated slab tool, just after the layer settings, we have geometry method, and under geometry method, we have this option for polygonal geometry. We have the second as rectangular method, and the third as a rotated rectangular method. So these three are the ones that are going to influence, or rather, these types of geometry methods are going to be influenced by the type of geometrical orientation that we have for our slab. So in the first case, where we have this as a polygonal geometry method, let's click to select it. Then we zoom to this area. Let's say we have a slab shape that is not a perfect square, it's not a rectangle, it's a series of, let's say, a series of rectangles and squares put together. So what this geometry method allows us to do is we can specify the shape. Rather, we can be able to draw the outline of the slab using a series of nodes that, when now connected together, will now form the shape of that slab. So that is when we are using this polygonal geometry method. The second option is called rectangular method. So let's click on the rectangular method to select it. Then for the rectangular one, this is where we have just a simple shape for the slab layout, and this simple shape can be either a rectangle or just a normal square. So when we click on one point, we are able to extend that coverage where we have now the next corner for that slab directly through the diagonal line. So when we click on one point and we move this through to the position that we want to place. Then when we click and release, we have our slab placed just as that rectangle. We can have a perfect square. Now the difference between this rectangular and the rotated rectangular, with the rotated rectangular method, you can be able to draw a rectangular shape that is twisted. Like you can be able to click on one point, then click on the other point to create. Now this is going to be one side of that slab. Then for the other side, you're able now to move your mouse towards that direction to where you want it to fit, then click to place it. So that is the only difference that we have. So that is the shape that is created. With our floor plan, if you look at it keenly, you find that we are better off when we use this first method, which is the polygonal method. What I will do is I'll click on that, and then we can choose one point where we will start drawing the slab. Then we will zoom to that point, click. Then when we click, then we will follow along through the edges of these walls and click at every corner so that we create a node in all these corners that we have there. So just follow along with the process. Wherever we have a corner, then we move towards the direction of the wall. We go to the next corner and click, create a node, click to this and that. Then we pick this corner too, and this corner, we pick this corner, we pick this and this. Then at the end of it, we complete this loop at the point where we started. So notice when we click, we have the slab in place. But right now we cannot, so we can only see it when we select it. So when you select, you see that is the outline of the slab that we have created. Now to be able to appreciate that better, we can take a look in the 3D window and see what changes we have made. So when you look at the model in 3D, you will notice that now bottom of the house is not hollow. We already now have a slab that is covering that space. So when you rotate that to the bottom side, you are able to see this is the slab that we have created. So I can be able to select it like that, and when you see this selected up here, the layer that is active is the structural bearing layer, which has this slab. So that's how to create a slab and edit the slab layout, rather and edit the slab shape. Before we end with the slab selected as that, we can still get back to the settings dialog. Then under model, we have options for overriding these surfaces. So we click to activate them. Then these are going to serve as a way for us to be able to customize what material we want to have for the top surface of this slab, and what material we want to have for the edges and for the bottom surface. So with this, if you click on this, we'll have all these options for materials that you can choose to have your slab materials. So I will prefer to have a top surface where we select a material that is going to show in 3D the type of finish that we'll have for that floor. Then still to the edges, we'll need to have a finish. And for now, I don't think the bottom surface matters so much, because when we are building that, when we are building the house, the bottom surface is going to be lying on top of. So that's not important. So with that, we can just deactivate this bottom surface paint. So that's it. That's how to create a slab, and that's how to edit slab in ArchiCAD.